What's up, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. And in today's video, it's going to start off a week of reactions of some of my favorite YouTubers. DKM, Ball Facts, 10K Wallace, DJ's Raw, Truth Uncut, maybe some hoop jargon, and Alan Foster. In today's video, what we're going to do is a reaction to one of DKM's videos. I told him I would do this a couple weeks ago. I never got around to it when this video first dropped, but DKM did a video which was based on LaMelo Ball's top 10 teammates. And I think that this list stands up. In some cases, I do think that it needs some modifications as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this video here. And as we do that, I'm going to go through and give some critiques on the list. And then I will follow up with some guys or a guy who I think should also be on this list. And I will tell you how I feel like folks should be either rated higher or lower on said list. But let's check it out. Bam, 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 bam.
His pre-NBA career. Quick disclaimer for the record, this is just my opinion. Top 10 lists are usually controversial, so I tried to be consistent with my...
This list is a bit controversial, I will say. Maybe so. My shit probably more controversial than his. I actually think that his is pretty standard as folks would think, but I think that some folks need more credit than they deserve.
My criteria...
Than they are. Not than they deserve, but than they have been given.
Different factors, such as how good these players were at their peak, and how good they were when playing with LaMelo. I'm interested in seeing your guys' thoughts and feedback in the comments, so feel free to join in on the fun and leave your own list of who you think LaMelo's top 10 teammates were. Anyone I've missed, make sure to show them love in the comments. The honourable mentions is on you guys. And lastly, like and subscribe if you always believed that LaMelo would make the NBA.
Definitely like and subscribe to my dog DKM channel. Also, while you're here, like and subscribe to the Kid AB the Hero channel. Let's continue.
At number 10, we have Curtis Hollis, who was LaMelo's teammate for JBA USA that toured all across Europe.
My dog Curtis Hollis deserves full screen, so I'm going after him. Let's see what you got, DKM.
Playing pro teams. During the tour, Curtis was one of the star players, averaging almost 30 points, 7 rebounds and 4 assists per game. After dominating in last summer's Drew League, Hollis earned himself a pro contract over in Germany, where he won Import Player of the Year. Curtis was also an all-star during the JV regular season with the Houston Ballers, and has teamed up with several NBA players in his early years, such as Billy Preston, Terrence Ferguson, and Trae Young. Curtis recently declared for the 2020 NBA Draft, and although not on any of the draft boards yet, could definitely feature on a Summer League team. And I'd go as far to say if there's any JBA player that will make the NBA besides the Ball brothers, it's Curtis Hollis.
Alright, Curtis Hollis being on this list is definitely a thumbs up. And it's shows you the intellect of basketball knowledge that DKM had to put him on his list. However, I would probably say Curtis Hollis could be higher up on this list. I will let you know as we go. But as of right now, thumbs up that my dog Curtis Hollis is on this list, but definitely could be higher on this list.
At number 9, we have Isaiah Jackson, a 6'9" versatile forward who spent his junior year alongside LaMelo at Spire. Jackson was a 5-star prospect, ranked the 31st best player of the 2020 recruiting class by ESPN, and is...
Alright, so you got Isaiah Jackson still, I believe, as at Spire. One more year left before he goes to Kentucky. And, or let me say that, probably is going to Kentucky this year. That's what I meant. And so to me, 5-star recruit, that's dope. But you got to get to that next level and prove yourself before, you know what I'm saying, you can solidify yourself. So even though you 5-star, that don't necessarily put you in front of some folks who are on this list potentially who have not met that 5-star rating yet.
Committed to play Kentucky for the 2020-21 college season.
And it sucks because that 2020-21 college season may or may not be happening.
Jackson averaged 15 and 10 during the 2019 end of his offense and has excelled in the pick and roll. With a year under Calipari at Kentucky, Jackson could end up being a first pick in the 2021 NBA draft.
The high school thing and the prep school vibe is it gives you a good sign of a person's potential. But you remember, and for instance, Zion Williamson, right? We seen in high school that he was going to be a beast, and he got to the NBA, he got to the NBA, and he's still beasting. But when you watch some of them high school games, he's definitely not playing against any NBA caliber players in a lot of those games. So it's very hard to see if that's going to pan out, which is why Zion touchdown in Duke, balled the way he did, and got elevated to the #1 pick. But prior to that, his own teammate RJ Barrett was rated higher than him, but we seen him versus better competition, and that happened to boost him up a little bit. Ja Morant played high school ball, all of that stuff, but it's the better competition that boosted him up a little bit. So when it comes to me and some of the critiques that I have, it is, let me see who you played against, that better competition, them adults, and let that be a projection of what you're going to do on the next level, which is why a guy like this who has played high-level basketball in high school, but we also know that when Spire was there, LaMelo was there, we didn't see those guys play against the top of the top because they was on that BS with LaMelo.
Draft Eli Scott, who played with LaMelo for 2 years at Chino Hills, and most recently
Here's what I'm talking about. Eli Scott is a dog, a great basketball player, but Curtis Hollis is smoking his boots. Easy. In a one-on-one, Curtis Hollis versus Eli Scott is getting dogged out.
In the Drew League, Eli is an undersized power forward at 6'5", but makes up with it for 100% effort and heart.
Ton of effort, not enough for Curtis Hollis.
Eli played a pivotal role during the Chino Hills undefeated season. While only a 3-star recruit in high school, Eli has played 3 years of Division I.
And this is what I was saying. So you got a guy like Eli Scott, who was a 3-star recruit in high school after winning the national championships and all of that stuff, but ranked higher than old boy who went to Spire. And it makes sense to me because old boy who went to Spire, even though you was a beast in high school, you still got to show us a little bit more.
Basketball at Loyola Marymount, where this past season as a junior he averaged
15 points a game. Loyola Marymount, that's pretty good.
50th list. They'll have to have a great opinion, is deserving. LaMelo's teammate at Spire, who led the team in scoring, averaging 22 a game for the 2018-19 season.
Rocket Watts is a dog, but Curtis Hollis is smoking his boots as well. So right now, I believe you got to move Curtis Hollis up to at least number 7 on this list because he's eating Eli Scott and Rocket Watts in one-on-one. The other kid, Isaiah Jackson, I believe that I would probably put him ahead of Rocket Watts and Eli Scott on this list, to be honest with you.
Even dropping a career-high 60 best player in the nation by ESPN. This past year playing D1 college hoops at Michigan.
And here's why, to me, Rocket Watts slides back. You put him on Michigan, you give him 9 points a game, 2 rebounds and 1 assist per game. Michigan State, I mean, it's credible, but like I believe that you put Curtis Hollis in that same situation, and he's going off ballistic style.
Michigan State, rock in the conference. While getting off to a slow start in college, shooting 29% from 3 and 38% from the field.
29 and 38. It's not great.
Rocket definitely still has NBA potential, and I have no doubt that next year as a sophomore, he'll enjoy a much larger role, score more efficiently.
Here's the other issue that I have too, and it's not to detriment him, but it's like more so in defense of him. Right now, man, the way that these projections work is if you make it to the NBA and you make it to the NCAA in your first season and you're not league ready right after that, if you don't dominate, then the critics and the scouts start sliding you back the longer that you stay in college, which is why a guy like Eli Scott is probably sliding back a little bit more. He would have come in and dominated, maybe gave you 15 first couple seasons out the gate. He would probably be a higher prospect. A guy like Rocket Watts is dope, young guy. He gonna hoop, he gonna develop and grow, but he's going to have to, at a Michigan State, he's gonna have to be giving you at least 20 a game before folks be like, yo, Rocket Watts is a top 10 lottery pick.
And look a lot more ball. Jello is the middle ball brother who's played with LaMelo the most of anyone on this list, co-starring at Chino Hills, Vitautis, and in the JBA.
Jello Ball is a dog. Jello Ball being on the top 10 in this list is makes the most sense. What I believe, and I've said this time and 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 time again, is that LiAngelo Ball is underrated. Is one of the most underrated basketballers in the history of basketball. The kid is a dog, and he probably deserves to be higher up on this list, but we will see.
On the undefeated Chino Hills team, averaging 30 plus points per game,
leading the state of California in scoring.
Overseas in Lithuania's LKL league, he was
in the LKL. This 12.6 points a game does not seem like a lot, but we're talking about a league in which if you want to be the highest scorer in the league, you got to at least get 15 points a game. They're not a higher scoring league. The pace is very slow. So for him to put those type of numbers up, immediately trying to get into the system with the limited minutes that he was playing, shows that he's a dog.
One of the league's leading scorers, with 13 points per game on 43% shooting from the field.
43% shooting from the field. That's alright. You would love to see him do that from 3. Maybe have a higher percentage, but my dog is going to jack the ball up.
In the JBA, he averaged 50 points per game.
Boom, 50 points per game in the JBA. This is one of the things that I always say to validate LiAngelo Ball as a great basketball player. If you take any one of these high caliber recruits that did not play in the JBA and you put them in there, a Jalen Hands, a Wiseman, the point guard who everybody wanted to see go ahead, and Cole Anthony, you put him in there and you say, yo, if he's a 5-star recruit, what type of numbers would he be able to put up in the JBA? In a league that I believe the caliber of play is higher than a lot of folks give it credit for, but based on the scouts and traditional reporting of prospects, what would you see those high caliber talented players, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, if they would have made the choice to go to the JBA, what kind of numbers would they have put up? You would have seen them score about 50-something points a game based on the caliber of play that most folks felt like the JBA was bringing. You've seen that from LiAngelo Ball. So to me, that's just a validation of the type of play that he has. You got guys like Curtis Hollis, who I already said could smoke a lot of these dudes on this list, boots in basketball, who's putting up 30 to 40 points a night. In some of his best nights, LiAngelo Ball is averaging 50.
Won the JBA Championship, All-Star Game, and Finals MVP award.
LiAngelo Ball is the reason why the Los Angeles Ballers ended up winning that championship. Before that, LaMelo Ball, who was projected to be top 2 pick in this year's NBA draft, was trying to carry his squad, but was struggling. They were on a bit of a losing streak. They brought Jello Ball in, and he took him over the mountaintop.
And has recently earned himself a full-time contract with OKC Blue.
A contract that folks said would never happen.
And the NBA level shooter.
Oh, step back.
Though ankle surgery has seen him out of action since November 2018. If LiAngelo can return from injury and come back the same beast he was at Chino in the G League, there's no reason why he can't climb further up this list.
Bang, bang, bang. This is what I kept telling folks for years. That ankle injury was slowing my dog down. Take him out of the game for a little bit, but we're going to see him come back with tenacity, ferocious, dominating, all of the good shit. Let's go.
Is one held in high regard over here in Europe.
Is let me
a name well unfamiliar to those in the States, is one held in high regard over here in Europe. Laurentius Barutis was
Laurentius Barutis probably is a dog, but like he said, over here in the States, we don't know who he is. I can't really give you much opinion. Even these clips that he has in the video here, we don't see a lot of clips from the time when he was on the court with LaMelo and Jello and them. So I can't even judge him from there. Big dude, looks slow as hell to me. I believe that Jello Ball one-on-one him probably smoke his boots. Curtis Hollis smoking his boots as well. Isaiah Jackson probably smoking his boots as well. And if you go up this list, I believe that they probably smoking his boots as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass on this dude because I don't really got much high positive things to say about him because I don't know him. 15 points again in the LKL. that's dope. Remember I said when Jello averages about 13 points, that was big because in order to do that in the LKL in a league that scores at a low amount, you know what I'm saying, you had to be a hooper. And so based on these stats here, my dog probably is a hooper, but when we start talking about did that game translate to this side of the world, you know what I'm saying, I don't know. My dog seemed a little bit slow with that left hand. Let's keep going.
Efficient. Since then, he's continued to progress the following season. Professional at a high. He played alongside LaMelo this past year in Australia. Booney had played 3 years in the NBL prior to his move to Illawarra last summer, and although his play fell off drastically from previous seasons, Boone still had.
Josh Boone, to me, terrible. 8 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, 0.7 blocks. He is the reason why my dog LaMelo didn't average a triple-double playing for Illawarra, because he was getting dimes put in his chest and he was missing and blowing wide open dunks and layups, fumbling the ball all over the place. Definitely deserves to be in the back of this list. Him and the last dude, I probably could put them at 10 or 9, or if you had a top 15, I would have them in the top 15. But Josh Boone disappointed me last year with the Illawarra Hawks. That's a fact, though.
Shooting 49% because an NCAA champion, spent 4 years in the NBA from 2006 to 2000.
Spent 4 years. That's dope. You played in the NBA. You got your 5.2 points a game, 4.9 rebounds. Great job. Illustrious career, but some of these young boys are going to smoke your boots.
2010, as a sub into this list, Regard Brooks, who in his short stint playing with the Hawks.
Aaron Brooks is a dog. I would love to see him be able to play the full season with the Illawarra Hawks. I think if he would have done that, they probably would have ended up with a better record. As DKM goes on to say in this video, I believe that we seen once he got hurt, we seen an elevated level of LaMelo Ball because he started to really take over and do his own thing. And so I think that in the growth of LaMelo Ball, not having Aaron Brooks on the team probably helped a lot. But in order for that Illawarra Hawks team to be great, having Aaron Brooks on there would have probably helped a bit more.
The best player LaMelo has ever played with. Brooks played just 7 games before going down with a season-ending injury and averaged 18 points per game for the season.
Dog.
Back in his prime, Brooks was an above-average NBA guard, averaging 10 points for his NBA career, and even had one season with the Houston Rockets where he was a borderline all-star.
Here's the tough part, right? When you say above-average NBA guard and you show these statistics, I don't know if I believe that. But from watching him play, especially with the Chicago Bulls, I will say that the dude had some years and some games where he was above average NBA guard.
Picking up 20 points and 5 assists. Of the players on this list, Brooks has had no doubt the best career, and sample size the number 3, and reunited, who first played alongside LaMelo their freshman year at Chino Hills, and reunited.
The Big O is a dog. He has one of those dudes who thrived in the Chino Hills system, and once that system was up and out of Chino Hills, the Big Baller Brand and LeVar and Jello and Melo and Zoe gone, he still continued to thrive, and we seen that he was a dog and a real hooper. So having him high up on this list, I 1000% agree with that.
In the Drew League last summer, Onyeka was the starting center for that undefeated Huskies team and averaged 13 and 9 as a freshman.
As a freshman, that's what's crazy. He's a starting center on an undefeated team who ended up winning a national championship with a bunch of young dudes and was a beast.
Onyeka carried Chino in the post-Ball Bro era. Number 2012 as one of the top players in the country. He was ranked 20th last season, near enough 9 rebounds.
So we see here the Big O at USC, 16 points a game, 8 rebounds a game. As a freshman, I love those stats.
And 3 blocks per game. Some scouts have gone men that in this kick starts a whole new debate between draft. I feel like I'd be doing him wrong to have him any lower on this list. And surprise, surprise, the
number 1. Now, this is controversial to me because what I'm sure he has as the number 1 pick probably sound right on paper, but what we've been seeing on the court as of late, I don't know.
Number 1 player we have on this list is Jordan Hollywood.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Surprise,
Wait a
surprise!
minute.
The number one player we have on this list is Jordan Hollywood.
Yo, hey, that's my dog now. Don't do him like that.
Now I'm playing. We got Lonzo Ball. As we all know,
Lonzo Ball is a dog. Lonzo Ball at UCLA, a dog. Lonzo Ball at Chino Hills, a dog. Lonzo Ball at Los Angeles Lakers, not so much the same type of dog. Lonzo Ball at New Orleans Pelicans, not so much the same type of dog, but is also a great player. As an NBA player, yet to see him reach the potential that we wanted to see from him, but I think with time he will get there. But right now, my dog Curtis Hollis is smoking Lonzo Ball boots. And that's no shade to Lonzo Ball, but Curtis Hollis is smoking his boots. And now that we've seen this whole list, I have another player or two that I want to throw in there as guys who I feel like should have been on this list. And I think that one-on-one, they might be smoking Lonzo boots as well. Only because offensively, we haven't seen the arsenal pan out in the NBA as we've seen with some as we see him do in high school, and then also as we seen with him at in UCLA. 33 points a game in Chino Hills you're looking at here. You know what I'm saying? That's epic. But
so UCLA was then again arguably the best player in college basketball.
Yes.
Summer 2017, he was drafted number 2 overall by the Lakers. Went on to win Summer League MVP.
Yes,
and although
dog.
underperforming his first 2 seasons in LA, since being traded to New Orleans, has really came into his own. He's having his best
12.4. It's a pretty good season in the NBA. If this was his statistics for his rookie season, I'd be like, yo, all right, I see what you was doing. But definitely has not lived up to the hype. But that's the beauty of what the Big Baller Brand and LeVar and all them did, is that you got a guy like Lonzo who is a pass-first, team-oriented guy, and a guy who, when you talk about his greatest gifts, are all of these things that don't show up in the box score, all of the things that we would typically praise a point guard or NBA player for, are none of the things that folks praise him for, but he still was able to go second overall in the NBA and was still able to be considered one of the best players in college basketball his 1 year at UCAA. I'm sorry, UCLA, not UCAA.
Season, averaging over 12 points, 7 assists, and 6 free on this big duo with Zion. Lonzo can pick up where he left off when the season resumes, and even if he doesn't,
he gotta start tagging the basket more, knocking down the threes and free throws. My dog knocked down free throws, and he could drive to the basket, and even if he can't make the layup, could still get contact and knock down the free throws. He'd be, to me, would rise up this list. But as of right now, I don't know. My dog Curtis Hollis is smoking his boots.
Still feel he's done more than enough to warrant the number 1 spot on our
1v1
list. Guys, to disagree, I don't think there's ever been a top 10 list that everyone.
All right. So now let's do this. I'm gonna get y'all here, and I'm gonna tell you what I think to be a guy who deserves to be on this list, who is not on this list, and I think that he is probably dominating a few guys on this list. If you put him on here, if you follow the JBA at all, you probably have a good idea of who I'm talking about, and I'm gonna pull him up right here. Yes, my dog Jordan Ray is cooking half the folks on this list. No, I'm joking. Jordan Ray is not the dude who I'm talking about, but I do think that if there's a top 15 list of players that LaMelo has played with, Jordan Ray does deserve to be on that list. I know my dog DKM was semi-joking about it, but let's go back here. All right, for real though, the guy who I believe to be a player who deserves to be on this list, ISO Rail, Jarrell Springer. A dominant force in the JBA, and what I really want to do before I get into y'all into the highlights and showing you some clips of Jarrell, I want to pull this up. This is Jarrell Springer, class of 2017. Obviously, we know the JBA ended up being 2018, so he would have graduated 2008. But You look here, Jarrell Springer is rated a 3-star prospect. We've seen a few 3-star prospects be on this list. LaMelo Ball, Eli Scott. They were pretty ranked high on LaMelo Ball's teammates. Jarrell Springer played with LaMelo over in JBA USA. As you see here, number 7 rated player in the state of Las Vegas. Was a Yeah, we done lost the boy. Hey, we had some technical difficulties, but we back. All right, here we go. One of the things that we know is Vegas. Now, as we've seen a lot of times, you continue to grow and you can have opportunities to raise your rankings and you climb up that list as a prospect throughout your time in college, you know what I'm saying, or throughout your time in high school. What we've seen from Jarrell Springer, he did not have that opportunity. Some things happened, moved between LA and Las Vegas, and then the coaches was like, bro, or the county was like, bro, you can't play or whatnot. So he ended up not playing. So I say that, and why I think that is important is because when you come here and you look at some of the stuff that they have for him in the scouting report, let's pull it up here. Strengths. Springer is an extremely athletic wing with long arms and a frame that should fill out nicely as he matures. He is explosive first step where he separates from his defender and he can fly up and down the court in transition. His body control is excellent while attacking the rim off the dribble, and he can finish with either hand. His hands are very good and active. He has the ability to break his defenders off the dribble, but is more burst than handle. When his feet are set, he can knock in the 3-point shot. Along with his physical ability, he also has a motor. He can play in the passing lanes, and he gets his hands on a lot of balls, whether it be rebounding, steals, or loose balls. Now, here's the clutch part that I really want y'all to tap into. Weaknesses. Stringer needs to get stronger to finish through contact at a more consistent rate. In addition, he needs to improve his left hand while attacking, as well as his mid-range skills, runner, floater, pull-up, etc. Springer has a lot of upside due to his frame, athleticism, motor, and budding skills. Now, Jarrell Springer is a guy who we've seen play in the JBA. Now, if you look at some of his highlights finishing through contact, that was something that they said that in order for him to reach his potential, he was going to have to get a little bit stronger and be able to do that. We see him getting the ball up the court a little bit faster. We see him, athleticism, the longness, and from a wing. We see all of that stuff. Mid-range jumper. All of the things that they say, once he gets these things, he's going to be a dominant force, are all of the things that we've seen him pick up through his time in the JBA and then continue to have those things moving forward. Now, Jarrell Springer was one of the guys who was fortunate enough to play in the JBA, but then also continue his career, finish through contact. Big man, Greg Floyd, a dude who could be on this list as well. I'm not going to really go into that right now. But you see in this game, this is the championship game versus Los Angeles Ballers, finishing through the lane consistently, a dominant force. Now, fast forward a couple years later, we're watching Jarrell Springer play in Georgia, not down south where Atlanta is, but Georgia. You feel me? And let's see what he's doing here now. Finishing through contact, attacking the basket. Athleticism is still there. Okay. In the corner, you get his feet set, he gonna knock down the 3-ball. During his time in Georgia, and like I said, not Atlanta, not Augusta, attacking the lane, kicking that boy back out. IQ is there. We see that. This is why I'm telling you that Jarrell Springer, is smoking the boots of a lot of guys who was on this list in LaMelo Ball's top 10 players. What I would suggest you do, if you're a fan of basketball, tap in with my dog ISO Real and really sit down and evaluate his game, and you will see what I'm saying. If I'm wrong, after you don't watch some footage on my dog, and if I'm wrong, you can come back to this video. You can send me a DM over there on the Instagram itself and be like, yo, AB, bruh, you said Jarrell was a dog, but I watched some clips and I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? If you do that and you send me the clips, I will hop back on here immediately, and then I will shout you out, validate you, and all that stuff. Here go my Instagram right here, so you can send me the DM straight right like that. You know what I'm saying? And once again, it's your main man, AB the Hero. What I want y'all to do though now, if you stuck around, I would hope that you have already hit the like button, probably dropped a comment or two, you know what I'm saying, to subscribe to the channel. But if you have not, I want you to go do that right now. And it's your main man, AB the Hero. I'm out. Peace.